That comes to mind first. Second of all, you can always try Facebook. Think about it. Facebook has a lot of information about different people on there, and you can actually search for different kinds of people. And so, for instance, you can go in there and look for people in your geographic area, and you can do the same on MySpace for that matter. Look for people in your city. Look for people who have mentioned words like entrepreneur, small business, or specifically internet business, internet marketing. So do some searches and see if you can find some people. Shoot them a friend request with a little note saying, hey, I see you're in this city, you do internet marketing, just wanted to connect with you and see what you're up to. And then, interact with them a little bit on Facebook. And in that way, you can maybe form a group or find some people through Facebook or MySpace and, eventually then propose getting together. And, maybe you don't even say Mastermind at first. You just say, hey, let's get together over coffee or maybe have dinner together and just chat about what we're up to. And that way you can kind of feel it out and get to know them. And if it seems like a good fit at that point, you can say, hey, what might be cool is if we get together every month and have a mastermind meeting where we share ideas about our businesses and what we're up to. A third idea that comes to mind is meetup.com. I know a lot of the big cities are very active, have very active meetup groups. Meetup.com is a place where people can form clubs or groups that get together based around all kinds of very specific niches, everything from Chihuahua owners to scuba divers to indie movie enthusiasts and so on and so forth. And, we've used meetup.com to find a variety of groups ourselves to go and meet. I know in New York City, I met lots of great people, went to very interesting groups that I found through meetup.com. So you can go in there and tell, what your city is and what kinds of interests you have. And maybe there's a group already formed. Maybe there's not one at all, and you can go ahead and start one. There's a small fee for that monthly, but it gives you all the tools you would need to put together a group and to put together meetings and have them get together on a regular basis. So you can try out meetup.com.
Yeah, Meetup is really great because once I moved to San Diego, I realized in the last couple of months that if I wanted to go to some sort of a group meeting every single day, yes, including Saturday and Sunday, I could very easily do that. And in fact, sometimes, and these are most stuff to do with internet business, small business, even SEO stuff, traffic stuff. If that's all I wanted to do, I could do it almost every day. So, big cities have that. Even in Salt Lake, there was a few. But man, when you go to a bigger city, all of a sudden, it's just groups every single day. It's awesome.
And the last idea that comes to mind is a very popular internet marketing and internet business related forum online. It's called the Warrior Forum. The easiest way to find that would just be to Google Warrior Forum. And, there's all kinds of people. Now, it's been around a while and there's a lot of different people that are in and out and on and off of that forum. But you might want to try kind of looking around, seeing if you can find people on there that are in your area or, just kind of maybe even making a post saying that you're trying to put together a mastermind group in your area and see what kind of responses you get. So that's another place that comes to mind that you can go and look. So the Internet Business Mastery Mastermind Community in the Academy, Facebook and MySpace, meetup.com, and the Warrior Forum are all great places to get started, either looking for people to get together with or advertising a group that you already have. Now, one thing we might want to point out is that actually it may not be in your interest to just openly advertise it everywhere once you kind of get it going, because again, you want to keep it very tight-knit group of preferably 2 to 8 people that there's a good gelling and people have the same kind of goals and things that they're going for. So maybe keep in mind that you might want to just kind of little by little organically try to identify and shoot invites specifically to people rather than maybe going and just posting a big advertisement saying, hey, everybody come and join the mastermind. Because then the next thing you know, you got lots of people and there are all varying levels of experience and dedication. So just keep that in mind as you're looking for groups.
Well, and one actually thing I was going to mention about this is I actually, when I get started on wanting to start just a little individual group like this, I'll go to a lot of meetup groups. And if I find other people that are interested or, seem like-minded and at about the same level, if I'm starting a new one, I'll invite them to a separate group that I would just be running myself or whatever. And in fact, we're just about to do that now. So that's a way to do it where you could even start a group, but that's not going to be the real group. It's just a group where you're going to try and find people that are going to work for your little individual group. I mean, there's lots of ways to do this, but that's a way to filter people. And then you just actually invite them as a guest And if everybody else goes, yeah, that works, then you can invite them to become a member, which there's no fees or anything with ours, but it just means you officially get invited to come every time.
Yeah, that's a great tip. All right, so there are some ideas for finding group members to put your group together. Now let's talk about once you start finding people or are ready to start, how do you actually put one together? And on Twitter, Xavier D asked, I'd like to know how to best outline requirements for becoming part of a group. Is this usually a formal thing or an informal thing when it comes to screening people? So yeah, you want to definitely give that some thought right up front. That'd be the first step, is to decide how are you going to screen people? What kind of people are you looking for? What kind of experience level? And again, remember last time, everything we've already mentioned about being like-minded and at similar, want lots of beginners mixing with incredibly experienced people, and it's just out of balance. So, so all the different things we've mentioned about going to meetups and just kind of keeping an eye out and seeing who are the people you gel well with and who seem like they'd be a good fit, and then to put out a personal invitation. So, I mean, formal or informal, I don't know. I mean, it's, I think you just have kind of a good sense. And then as soon as it becomes 4 or 5 people, you just kind of all, like the great tip that Sterling just gave, maybe you invite somebody as a guest, or you don't even tell them it's a mastermind. Maybe you just have everybody get together over coffee or dinner and chat. And then later you can, everybody who's in the group say, hey, what did you think of so-and-so? And they can kind of give a yay or nay as to whether they want to extend a formal invitation to be a permanent part of the mastermind group. But definitely you do want some sort of screening people. So just kind of decide up front what you're going to be looking for and how you're going to do that. So that would be step number 1 of how to put together your mastermind group.
Well, and I would say that with the formal and informal part of the question, I actually found that once the groups I was in became the most useful for me was when we sort of got more formal. When we started becoming more, okay, we've got a certain amount of time for this, a certain amount of time for that. And we're going to go over this a little bit more, but I just wanted to mention that, if everybody's just kind of chit-chatting, a lot of times there's not nearly as much use if everybody's completely focused and this person, they say what's going on and everybody specifically helps them right then. And then we move to the next person. I found far more useful tips and that kind of stuff when we did that.
Is there a formal document saying or a formal process for which you screen people in groups that you've been in? I mean, I know one thing in some groups is they actually say only people who are making 6 figures or more can be in this group. I mean, I guess that would be kind of or is it usually more of just an informal, everybody gets a feel for somebody and decides whether or not they're in the group?
Yeah, it was more a feel like once we see what their business is up to, make sure that it is the same, because if you're with a brand new person and then you've got 5 other people that are making 6-7 figures a year, obviously, it's going to be not a balance like you were mentioning before, where one person's kind of getting all the information and it's harder for them to give back. So yeah, it was one of the things where when I was invited to one, it was after almost every single person in the group had bought from me, and then they realized I was in Salt Lake, and then they invited me.
Nice.
So they saw that I had a business going, and they invited me again as a guest, and then invited me to actually stay with the group after they saw that I actually knew what I was doing and that kind of stuff. So it was in that case, it was kind of both things. It was, they got a feel for me and they'd all bought products from me. So, all right. Number 2, you're going to want to choose a meeting spot.